In a bombshell twist that no one saw coming, Ashton Kutcher is now at the center of a controversy that could redefine everything we thought we knew about Diddy's infamous parties and the dark underbelly of Hollywood. And trust us, what you're about to hear will shake up the entire celebrity expos narrative. From unsettling connections to disturbing claims about Diddy's notorious after parties, what's going on behind the scenes. And could Ashton Kutcher, a former golden boy of Hollywood, be just as complicit as the men he's now allegedly linked to? Let's dive into the disturbing truth no one wants to talk about.
What about Ashton Kutcher? Because Ashton Kutcher, who I believe could possibly just as bad, Ashton Kutcher as well, listen, he's not guilty of this, but he arranged a date. He was late for that date, and when he got to the girl's house, he looked through the window. She was stabbed 47 times. The man ended up getting charged, but Ashton Kutcher was also involved with Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's Mr. Jeffries who's just been done for trafficking. Ashton Kutcher was also friends with Brittany Murphy, who also was friends with P. Diddy, who also died the same death as Kim Porter. Now, Ashton Kutcher as well also runs a child protection thing, I think it's called Fawn, where he's trying to save children. But we know now a lot of these people use this thing for child trafficking to actually not expose it, but to gain from their own benefit. He was also married to Demi Moore, and there was a video of Demi Moore kissing a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old boy. I just feel as if there's a lot of darkness around these people. I feel as if they feel as if they're untouchable. I genuinely think he could be next Ashton Kutcher.
In a twist no one saw coming, the leaked footage offers a jaw-dropping look at an infamous moment from 2003 that had already stirred heated debates.
Hey! Oh my gosh, this so rocks! I just want to say,
You're doing so good. You're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Thanks, MTV Rock! I won the MTV Movie Award.
Coming to the after party tonight? Yes!
Coming to the after party tonight?
Read, and I feel like the word party and Diddy just cannot be used together in the same sentence, because like everyone's gonna think of Freakoffs. Now, this video from the 2003 MTV Music Awards has sparked significant concern over Diddy inviting Davy Chase to an after party. Diddy approaches her after she wins Best Villain for her role in The Ring, and he asks her if she wants to go to an after party, which, you know, maybe at first you'd think, oh, you know, he's being quirky, but now learning that, you know, 3 years prior at the same award show, he R-worded a 13-year-old girl. At least that's what he's being sued for, allegedly. Accuser, I don't know, protect myself, lawyer, chime in. Nonetheless, this man is capable of some really nasty things to young people. So, you know, if Davey did go to that party that night, what the hell could have happened?
But now, as the investigation into Diddy intensifies, many are questioning what role Ashton Kutcher played in all of this. Is he just another celebrity caught up in the Hollywood machine? Or is he somehow complicit in the dark dealings of the entertainment industry? What's even more disturbing is that as more and more allegations surface, Ashton Kutcher now finds himself in a position where he must confront his own role in this tangled web. Will he speak out against the industry and his former friend, or will he stay silent, as so many others have done before him? The truth is, no one knows for sure, but what is clear is that the walls are starting to close in on these figures who once seemed untouchable. And with every new revelation, the pressure is mounting for accountability.
This is when he asks her, like, oh, after party. And actually, you know what's even weirder? I want to back this up a little bit. The way that he approaches her. Look at him. Look at him. Oh my gosh, look at it in reverse. Ew, I hate reverse things. Everyone in reverse looks like a reptile. Okay, we see her. Why is she looking up at Ashton? Like, are they talking? I'm like, not me over here analyzing every single move. But look at him walking up to her like she's like a model. Now, as Diddy is facing multiple lawsuits, the resurfaced video has drawn sharp public concern. Social media users have expressed discomfort, labeling the interaction sick and gross.
People think the video is very weird that a grown adult is asking a child about an after party and then getting excited after she nods yeah. She was such an amazing actress that picked up some really good movies, so I just hope she's okay now. With all the new Diddy stuff coming out now, I just hope this girl was protected.
Young stars.
I don't think I ever told this story, and I'm about to tell this story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to a Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. And Diddy was telling him that's either the doorman or your security. You know what I'm saying? And he was still married to Demi Moore at the time. So you could have something, you could be right. Because it's crazy how they said her and Kim and some other individual with them or around them all died of pneumonia and they were in perfect health.
See, at his parties, was he recording in every room? Was he recording people's sex? And was he recording everything? Or how far-fetched is it that he had videos of everyone?
Well, I'm just saying, if they recovered over 250 cameras, whoa, he had recordings of everything and everywhere. You know, I don't think is no house that big that you need 250 cameras. You know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But as far as I got the same knowledge that everybody else have regarding that, the taping and the filming and everything like that. So it's not far-fetched at all if the federal government has seized that information.
A lot of people now will be running for the hills. A lot of people will turn against him. Same as the Epstein stuff when they says there was recordings and they had everyone. But the only thing is, whether they not show the recordings, but release the names who were involved. Now, I've no issues with people having parties and having orgies and taking drugs and drinking. I don't give a for that. It's when the fact that they're saying people were drugged, people were groomed, kids possibly groomed. You see the video of Justin Bieber at 14 and how uncomfortable he made him feel, saying you're staying with Uncle Puff for 48 hours. Like, it's just, that's not a normal way for a man to act around children.
It's just weird to me every time I see this literally minor, this child at a party with her mom there, and I'm just like, oh, this reminds me of like classic Hollywood. Especially imagine the moms that are like not attentive and they're over there like mingling with the adults. It's like, damn, then where's your 16-year-old daughter, or in this case 13? The video has triggered outrage and concern from fans. The fact that Davy is a young girl at the time and was asked to attend this after party, especially knowing what happens there, is nasty, and it was broadcasted to everyone. Like, the entire world saw Diddy invite this young girl to this party and nobody blinked an eye.
Ashton Kutcher, from Danny Masterson to NFT scams to P. Diddy, has been dealing with a lot of controversy last year, but now he's being blamed for Debbie Chase. Ashton Kutcher recently got a lot of hate for a resurfaced interview he did where he was talking about P. Diddy parties, saying they were the best parties of his life, but he couldn't talk about what he did. It's also been revealed P. Diddy required guests to sign NDAs saying they couldn't talk about what was going on at the parties until 20 years after he dies. Ashton Kutcher has had a lot of controversy around him with women because when he was 19 years old, he used his tongue to kiss Mila Kunis, who was just 14 at the time, without asking. He said he did it because his co-star, convicted rapist Danny Masterson, bet him $20. He also did a very weird video talking about a 15-year-old Hillary Duff who he was working with at the time, as well as the Olsen twins, who were 16, saying the world can't wait for them to turn 18. Now Ashton Kutcher's being blamed for helping P. Diddy invite a 12-year-old Debbie Chase.
As we peel back the layers of this complicated narrative, one thing becomes crystal clear: Hollywood's glittering facade hides a dark truth. From Diddy's notorious parties to the silence of his high-profile friends like Ashton Kutcher, the stories we've been told for years are starting to unravel. What we once saw as glamour is being exposed as a system that thrives on power, manipulation, and exploitation. The question now is, what will happen next? As more and more figures come forward and the investigations intensify, will the truth about Hollywood's darkest secrets finally be brought into the light? Or will it all remain buried beneath layers of celebrity cover-ups? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Ashton Kutcher and Diddy are involved in something far darker than we realize? And what do you make of the resurfaced footage from the 2003 MTV movie Awards? Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates. The truth is coming, and you definitely don't want to miss it.
Definitely a clear dark side to Hollywood, and all of them are on the same team. But actually, Ashton and Diddy met because of Punk'd, the television show. While Diddy was forming the MTV singing competition Making the Band, the comedic actor was busy planning his next prank on unsuspecting celebrities. It all started over Punk'd because he was like, yo, you can't punk me, and Ashton was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. So that started their conversation and their friendship because Ashton was determined to get Diddy and to punk him. After Diddy's mild threat, the duo became fast friends, Ashton added. We used to hang out and watch football together. Ashton even had his hand in his bestie running in the New York City Marathon. Here's a clip of these two talking about their friendship.
When did you first meet?
I was doing Making the Band on MTV. He was doing Punk'd.
Yeah.
And I gave him a call one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea.
I feel like Diddy doesn't even believe that he could not get punked, but I don't think he wants to be pranked because I don't think he wants to be caught, unsuspecting at any time with all the bad things he's up to.
So we were spending a lot of time together. By the way, if you're a single man, there's probably no greater human being in the world. This is 20 years ago, 19 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we were having a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just like going out, like doing things. We were watching football games, hanging out, like we would go shopping, whatever it was.
I'm officially headed down the rabbit hole to learn more about the origins of this friendship, and I find it very interesting because Ashton Kutcher was recently exposed for writing a letter to the judge asking for leniency in Danny Masterson's R-word sentencing, while simultaneously being a founder and running a organization to protect people, especially children, from becoming victims.
It was so fascinating to me that Ashton Kutcher was supporting Danny Masterson, yet had a nonprofit that was supposed to help people get out of those types of situations. And now we've got his friendship with Diddy and the same establishment that Ashton was the face of, and it combats everything that these other friends that he has have going for them. I mean, the Danny Masterson thing alone led Ashton to stepping down. He had to resign from his anti-sex trafficking nonprofit. His resignation was effective immediately from his role as a board chairman at Thorn, an organization whose goal is to address the role the internet plays in child trafficking and abuse. He actually founded this organization with his ex-wife Demi Moore, and it's fascinating to see that he's now best pals with people who are being charged with these crimes. He said, I have determined the responsible thing for me to do is resign. I cannot allow my error in judgment to distract from our effort and the children we serve.
But it gets even more troubling. Beyond his connection to Diddy, Ashton Kutcher has faced his own set of allegations and controversies. From his involvement in the Danny Masterson case to his failed nonprofit organization aimed at protecting children from trafficking, many are questioning Kutcher's true intentions. Kutcher resigned from his role as the chairman of Thorn, a nonprofit dedicated to ending human trafficking, after public outrage over his letter to the judge asking for leniency in the sentencing of his former That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson, who was convicted of sexual assault. Now, critics are asking, could Ashton Kutcher be complicit in the very issues his charity sought to fight against?
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over Punk'd, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
Can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
I just heard about that. But you heard about the reports that Ashton Kutcher, he's worried that Diddy might lie on his friends? You heard about that?
But that's what I've been saying. I said, if the federal government wanted somebody more than they want Diddy, if he has some information about some people that they would rather have other than him, he's able to get that information to them. But they gotta want it. They gotta want it. And Ashton Kutcher and him they were real tight. One time, me, him, Ashton Kutcher went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z there. You know what I'm saying? So they were close, they was cool.
But you think Diddy would do something like that? Allow other celebrities?
Well, why would it have to be a lie? Because if he get caught in, he gonna be as truthful as possible. You understand? He's gonna give them enough information, whereas that it's gonna make him look like the choir boy. So, Ashton Kutcher, he has a right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy. Remember they used to have that group called the what do they call it? The Brat Pack? With Diddy, him, and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo, one other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So, they all might be worried.
For him to come out with that comment, I mean, that is suspect. It sounds like he's worried that Diddy might give up some information.
That's why. That's why he made that statement. To set it up. To set up the atmosphere that, yo, this guy's gonna lie on us. This guy ain't gonna tell the truth on us. But what we know is that wherever Diddy went, his tape recorders went. His camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape already.
Full accounting of the circumstances surrounding the event.
It's not just the Masterson case. Ashton Kutcher has also been linked to other high-profile figures in Hollywood who've been accused of similarly troubling behaviors. These figures, like Diddy, have long been rumored to have ties to a system that involves manipulation, sexual exploitation, and much worse. Now, with the resurfaced footage of Diddy's inappropriate behavior, people are beginning to connect the dots between Diddy's so-called freak-off parties and those who have turned a blind eye to it all. Kutcher's name keeps popping up in connection to these circles. And it's not just a casual association. The fact that he's close to people like Diddy and has shared intimate moments with him makes us ask, how deep does this connection really go?
Well, Ashton and Puffy, or Diddy, have been friends for decades. And they've done movies together, they've hung out together, and he can't say anything. Because he's one of those guys. Remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening. A lot of them don't want people looking into their closet, but Ashton doesn't want the blowback that he got with Danny Masterson.
All right, so pretty tepid in how they reply. Meantime, we're hearing Diddy's ex, Cassie, is cooperating with the feds during this investigation.
100%.
What more is she saying, Paula?
She's not saying anything. So here's the deal. She had sued him for sex trafficking, rape, a bunch of horrible laundry list of stuff. And he settled. It's the one case he settled. It was the first case he settled it. I'm hearing for around $30 million. However, just because you settle a case, you may have an NDA, but if the feds come a knocking, you better answer.
You can only go by what you read, what you hear, and if you see somebody have all red rooms, the first thing you're gonna say is, why? If I walk in this hotel room and everything around this room, the furniture, the walls, the ceiling, everything is red, I'm gonna be backing up out of here with my gun, with my hand on my gun. That shit is gonna scare the shit out of me. Wouldn't it you?
Right, it would. He talking about it scares the shit out of me.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna walk in rooms, so when you see that he had rooms that were all red with loudspeakers for the music and 1,000 bottles of baby oil, you gonna say, some ain't right. Some just ain't sitting right here. So for people who have been involved in and seen that, they should have known something was wrong, something was different. And they should have known that something is about to go down that I've probably never been involved in and went down before in my life.
What makes this even more chilling is the context in which this video is emerging. Over the years, Diddy's parties have become infamous for their involvement in what many claim are disturbing and manipulative rituals, which have allegedly seen underage stars like Davy Chase invited to these gatherings. Critics are now questioning whether this was just a normal celebrity event or part of something more sinister. These revelations add a whole new layer to the ongoing discussion about Hollywood's dark side. From sexual misconduct to secretive rituals, the disturbing behaviors are being connected to figures we once thought of as untouchable. And it's not just Diddy at the heart of this, it's the entire system that enables it.
Before Kirk even said something about that Diana Ross thing, I told Kirk. I called Kirk up and I said, man, you a sucker. He said, what? He said, you all hugged up with Diddy. My man got a picture of it and he showed it to me. He said, Gene, what a picture at? I said, my man got it. Why? I thought you wasn't effing with him. He said, no, Gene. He came up to me, he grabbed me real tight, and he told me, I don't owe you nothing. You know I don't owe you nothing, right? He said, he didn't say nothing to, he said Diddy tried to get him to go out with him and wanted him to take some pills. So I said, oh, so y'all trying to rekindle y'all shit, huh? I said, so y'all try to rekindle y'all shit, huh? He was like, nah, I wasn't gonna go out with him. I wasn't gonna do none of that. I was like, yeah. And then a couple of months later, he called me and said, yo, Gene, where your friend at who had that picture of me and Puff? I need it. I said, I don't know where yet. And that was it. Can't find it.
A resurfaced clip from the 2003 MTV Movie Awards is now sparking major outrage. In this shocking video, we see none other than Sean Diddy Combs personally inviting 13-year-old actress Davy Chase to one of his infamous after-parties. At first glance, this might seem like just another celebrity interaction, but in the wake of Diddy's recent legal troubles and allegations, this invitation now takes on a darker significance. As Diddy approaches Davy, he asks her if she wants to attend an exclusive after party. And what's perhaps most disturbing, this isn't just an isolated moment, it's part of a troubling pattern of questionable behavior that has now resurfaced in the media. Public reaction has been swift and unsettling, with many calling the exchanges sick and gross.
Host of Takedown with Chris Hansen. So now we have two people come out saying that Diddy was talking to the feds. Do you think that's true?
Whether it's true or not, and he might have been cooperative in some way, shape, or form, you don't get away with human trafficking unless you give up John Gotti or something like that, and that's not what happened here. I can tell you, Jesse, that this investigation's been going on for a long time, very closely held by HSI, so much so that even some of the agents on the raid a week ago today didn't know whose house they were raiding until they got there. That's how closely held this investigation.
Wow, because there could have been a tip.
Absolutely.
And there are allegations that he was paying law enforcement through his chief of security, which also happened to be Michael Jackson's chief of security.
I don't know if I buy into that. You know, people in Diddy's situation like to have those involved in law enforcement close to them. But that doesn't mean they're taking payoffs. That doesn't mean they're doing big favors. They like that closeness. It's just like how Diddy was able to court Diageo or Estee Lauder. He was very successful in doing that, and that made him a lot of money and gave him credibility outside the hip-hop rap world. And that's what he was trying to do here, a lot like what Epstein did with very powerful political and business.
But the story doesn't end with Diddy. Enter Ashton Kutcher, who now finds himself embroiled in this mess. Known for his laid-back persona and role as the prankster on Punk'd, Kutcher has recently come under fire for his close ties with Diddy and his involvement in the Hollywood scene. While some fans have questioned his role in these darker circles, others are beginning to connect the dots between Kutcher's friendships and Diddy's alleged secrets. In one resurfaced interview, Kutcher admits that he was part of the very circles where Diddy thrived. He and Diddy shared a friendship that many are now beginning to rethink. Was Ashton just another pawn in a system that thrives on exploitation and manipulation? Or was he aware of the disturbing goings-on behind closed doors and chose to turn a blind eye?